Okay, circle work. Circle work is incredibly therapeutic to dogs and humans as well. I like to put on a podcast and just kind of cruise. All he has to do is walk in a circle with me. Nothing major. A lot of odor on the ground. It's wet. It's cold. It's first thing in the morning. So let's talk about how I start circle work. So circle work essentially is just how it sounds. I start with the dog on the inside of the circle. I walk what feels like painfully slow for most people. And I just guide the dog through the circle. A lot of benefits to this. It helps with leash pulling. It can help with engagement. It's therapeutic in a meditative way. It's repetitive, so the dog kind of knows what to expect. And what I've noticed with Co, as I've been doing this over the past 24 hours, is as I start circling, his head is starting to come up. He's starting to raise his head a little bit and feel a little more comfortable. It is something that when you go into a new environment is a really nice way to get the dog to settle into a new environment. I do this pretty often with my board and trains when I go into a new space. Couple things about Co. He is very scared of cars, which we have to remember that probably kept him alive at some point. So he likes to, he bolts when he has a car go down my street, which I don't live on a busy street. So something that he's going to have to work through. My neighbor's leaving right now. Their car is leaving. So he's looking back at it. I'm okay with dogs looking and gathering information. Let's go. As long as they don't react heavily. Or I can give them information on how to react appropriately, but that was actually really good. So what I do is I set a timer on my watch and I do about 10 minutes of this. The evolution of the circle will turn into doing it from the right. So the dog will be on my right side on the inside of the circle, and then we'll do figure eights as well. He's almost 1 week into training. This is a case that is a little more difficult than your over arousal case where dogs are bouncing off the walls, super adrenalized and excited. He's over aroused in a different way. He's over aroused in a way that has shut down his nervous system, where he responds in a way that he is afraid that something's going to happen to him. So he's relied on other dogs to provide him that support, which is his mother. What we want to do is get him to where he's relying, good boy, a little more on humans to give him that support. But if humans have not been supportive of him, until he got into his situation with his foster, then why should he trust us? So that's going to take time. Good boy. Last night, I actually got a little bit of spunk out of him. He jumped around and got excited and played with me a little bit. So I'm hoping to see a little more of that today. So as you can see, we're about 6 minutes into this, that his head has gradually started to come up. And I'm going to film all of my circle work sessions with him today so you can see the progression, because the last session of the day is usually my best one. Good boy. Good. Good job. Another great barometer for him, yes, is if he's taking food, which he is. Oh, nope, he spit it out. So what I mean by barometer is if he's not taking food, he's not really super comfortable. Not all dogs' food is a good barometer for their comfort level. Some dogs will take food even when they're very uncomfortable, which can be confusing for owners. But he is very straightforward with it. If he's not comfortable, he is not taking food. Good boy. So lots of verbal praise. Good boy. Good boy. These are the dogs that often get overlooked in the shelter system because they're in the back of the kennel. Good boy. Hiding. They're not up in the front. They're not forward. And they don't look like they'd be a lot of fun. But these are the dogs that are probably the most easiest to live with. He's not going to require a lot. Like, the likelihood of him being a dog that's going to like going camping into Home Depot, into a restaurant, is pretty slim. He would be a very nice house dog for somebody. Somebody who wants to do this in their driveway, or maybe go walk around a familiar area that he's been. But he is a good little, I like to call them house hippos. I have a house hippo as well. I have a Frenchie that's a house hippo that came from probably a similar situation to his. and she was not socialized at all. I got her about 4 years old, except her over-arousal manifests as aggression, and she just hangs at my house. There's nothing wrong with that. Good job. But unfortunately, these are the cases, like I said, that get passed over. And even by trainers, because when trainers usually take on projects or fosters, they take them on to create content, or they take them on to show their skill set or to better their skill set with challenging dogs like behavioral cases. And these dogs generally are exactly what you're seeing right now. Very anticlimactic. There's nothing exciting happening. This is 10 minutes of me walking in a circle. These are not dogs that are going to get lots of views or go to Home Depot and hang out with other people. But these are dogs that are actually probably going to be a little bit easier to place. Good boy. I'm definitely not going viral for walking in circles for 10 minutes. But there's a very good chance that I'm going to change the trajectory of this dog's life by giving him some skills to cope when he is feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do in a world that he has never experienced without his mother. Good boy. See that? I'm talking about that head coming up. Look at that tail starting to wag. That's what I'm talking about. The circle work is therapeutic. For those of you that made it through the full video, we still have 3 minutes left. So you can see how this is helpful. The other side of it, the therapy of getting out into the fresh air, into the sun, and getting some movement. And just so you know, 10 minutes of circle work is about a half a mile. So you're getting some exercise too. Let's go. Now that has improved. He would previously stop there and try and dart back to the backyard because that's where he feels safe. And he's not doing that as much now. Good boy. Good job. Look at a little tail wag there. Good boy. Let's go. Good boy. All right. Good job, buddy. So if you are in the rescue industry, I guess it's not an industry, but if you are a rescue, this is a fantastic thing to do when you first bring your dog into foster. Start doing circle work, basic slip lead or a martingale. You can do it on a harness as well, and just get the dog to start moving with you. You can see I'm not using a lot of food in the circle. I did a little barometer check to see if he was taking food in halfway through, but generally it is literally just building a communication and movement with the dog. I do this, like I said, every hour to 2 hours with new dogs for 10 minutes all day from the point when we get up and start our day to right before dinner time. Good job. It's really good for their mental health. If you have a dog that cannot do the circle, is just too wiggy, too crazy, you can do a little bit of the back and forth. Let's go. Like I did when I first started with him. Let's go. But what I find with this dog is the let's go is a little harder for him. Straight lines are a little harder. Good boy. So I'm going to do another food check. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we took it that time. Good. Oh, nope, dropped it. And to close this out, the one thing about me as a trainer, I will show you everything. I will show you me making little mistakes, and I'll point them out. I will show you the dog not being perfect, because how are you going to work through it if you don't see, let's go, what I'm doing? That is not helpful, and that does not produce learning. So if you're a student of mine and have done a board and train with me, you know this to be true, is I will show you exactly how I work through a dog's reactive moment, or how I work through a dog who doesn't want a down, and what I'm considering in those instances. Because if I only show you a finished product and I don't show you how I got there, when you struggle with your dog, you're not going to know how to address it. So it's important that when you're seeking a coach, that is something you look for. And that's it. We're going to go inside.